Yeah, so like similar to spring training, Ryan's groin's just like it's just bugging him, and like kind of what we ran into in spring training is that he's playing catch and he feels pretty good, and then in the game there's just a little hesitation that probably has started to affect kind of the ability to make pitches and to deliver shapes of pitches that he's used to executing. So try to give him a couple weeks here and kind of get him back to a form we saw earlier in the season.
Is that a couple weeks down or just a couple? What do those couple of weeks look like?
Well, we've got to get him so that symptoms are gone, kind of at full effort. So he, like I said, the catch play has been okay. It's just full effort has been not okay. So hopefully we can do that quickly, and then kind of get to the work where we think can improve and get back to some of the pitch shapes that has made him effective.
Craig, Ray Montgomery and you have known each other for quite some time. Now that he's got the interim manager job on the other side, he spoke a few weeks ago about obviously channeling some of your managerial skills now that he's in the hot seat over there. But what do you think about his opportunity with the Angels and his style of managing maybe moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, so Ray's, had a kind of a fascinating baseball career. A very good player in the major leagues, and then really dedicated a lot of years to the amateur scouting world and to finding talent, which I think gives you such a unique lens on the game and introduces you to so many different baseball people who teach you about the game. And I know just in my brief experience of that, very, very limited, it is a really good place for even someone who's been on the field a lot at the major league level to learn about the game. And so I think Ray brings a really great resume to the table, and unfortunate circumstances that he's gotten this opportunity, but very prepared for this opportunity.
Did you see him one day sitting in a manager's seat, knowing the time that you guys spent together?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know if he had that on his bingo card at the time, but absolutely, yeah.
So Kyle's getting started on Sunday for Hendricks. Just what do you appreciate about going up against him for all those years, and then get to know about him when he was on your team?
Well, Kyle's really a unique player, and I think what was fun last year for me is just to kind of see, Kyle's one of those players that when he talks, everybody stops and listens, and that just doesn't happen. Most people want to be talking, not listening. But when Kyle would talk, people want to listen. And I always thought that was that was a really fun thing about Kyle, and a really just impressive character trait. I remember we were in San Francisco, and I think he I don't want to say the milestone. I think it might have been crossing 10 years of service time. Does that sound right? Yeah. And
Yes.
does that sound right? Yeah. And we had a little thing for Kyle, and he gave just a wonderful talk about just what being a big leaguer means to him, and it was one of those things where you're just hanging on every word he says, because he just had a way of expressing it where players, it just would relate to players, and it related to me, and I could relate to it. And so, those are the things about Kyle, honestly, that you remember, that I was fortunate to get to experience, and he was really a great teammate from that regard.
When I was talking to him, still keeps track and tabs of the team. He was PCA and Kate Horton, how younger guys have stepped up. On that note, when you have the mix that this team has of veteran and younger players, how could you often see that on championship teams? What's your view of just having that mesh of both and how it creates successful teams?
Yeah, I mean it's I mean, I think in today's world and game, like, you need young players from your system to impact your team, and they need to impact your team in big ways. And I think we're getting that. I think we're hopefully getting even more of it as we go here. I think some of our young players are getting, like, I think it's logical to say your young players are the best chance to kind of surprise you during a season and improve, because they're improving, and especially at the kind of experience level some of our guys are at. So it's part of it, you know, and then you know, but it's all a team, and it's 26 players trying to figure out ways to win baseball games, and it really doesn't matter if you're young or old. You're just trying to together try to figure out a way to win baseball games.
How is Cade Horton's finger feeling up?
Yeah, I mean, no concerns. I wouldn't say no concerns, but, like, you know, he's starting tomorrow. Feel good about it. You know, hopeful it won't be an issue.
In a situation like that, does he put extra, like, does he have to
He's not done anything special this week for it. You know, sometimes there's a substance to just prevent blisters that guys use. He hasn't needed to use that. It's been healed up, so we're good.
Is Javier going to stay in the rotation in the foreseeable future?
Those are all day to day for us right now. I mean, we do have because of the doubleheaders. We do have 6 starters kind of going right now, so we're not going to go with a 6-man rotation. But you know, we'll see what happens moving forward.
Talk about, we mentioned the other day, like, the challenges in front of the team over a long season. Is that innings puzzle, like, the biggest concern you have? Like, so many questions have been about the offense, but Kyle Tucker probably, like, learn how to hit again, but, like, the pitching side, that's gotta, like, concern you, right? How do you look at that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in a pretty good health spot right now. It's kind of like, we could be in an unbelievable situation, Patrick, and I'd be concerned about our pitching. I mean, that's maybe that's my issue that I need to talk about, but I mean, you know, I think we've handled this week, and the guys have handled this week, like, really, really well. I think some guys have worked really hard. I think that's why you try to save some things for a certain time of year, right? You kind of don't know. You know, we obviously didn't know at all. We didn't know until a certain time that this week was going to happen. But then when you know that a week like this is going to happen, you have to be prepared for it. I think we've gotten to this point in a good way. I think we're in a pretty good place today, but the things change fast, and that's why big sweeping statements about it are a little dangerous. But I'm you know, it's always a thought, the innings puzzle, for sure, and you try to come up with a lot of scenarios, and you have to do some, like, you know, kind of, I don't want to say doomsday thinking, but, like, if this doesn't work, you know, what do we, you know, that type of thinking, just to make sure that you are prepared and your team is prepared and your pitchers are prepared to handle different situations.
Where's Soroka at this point? Is he, like, a near term, or, like?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, loosely, I think I would focus on kind of mid-September. I mean, he's going to throw off a mound before this trip is over. So we're getting there. In fact, it's in San Francisco. He will throw off a mound. So we're making progress, and he's feeling good. So those good signs.
Have to stretch him out?
We will not stretch him out. I mean, I think we'll stretch him out to, like, multiple inning rolls, but not. We don't have time to do the other thing. Yeah.
A couple of days ago, you talked about most professional athletes at some time in their careers playing hurt, and sometimes playing through injury. But for a guy like Kyle Tucker, who's probably in, like, the most important stretch of his career with his free agency coming up, what does it say about him going out there with the fracture? I know he had a good June after the fracture, but what does that say about him just kind of risking it, going out there to just be there for his guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think Kyle kind of assessed this. We assessed this, and I think you'd figure out with kind of what you can handle, and how does it feel the next day after I had a day? You're just kind of assessing it day to day. The game is relentless like that in this game, and so the baseball has always been. One of the things I always say about baseball injuries is that they don't always have to be big injuries, but because the day nature of the game doesn't let injuries heal. That's the nature of the game. So it might not be the biggest injury, but it's hard to give healing time just by the nature of the schedule. But I think Kyle, he was feeling good and was feeling it, but having good at bats and felt good at the plate, and so you want to be out there. He wants to compete. He wants to win. He wants to be a part of winning. He's demonstrated that throughout his whole career, and he's going to keep demonstrating it.
Bob Costas today, Ryne Sandberg's eulogy, mentioned kind of how you and your team watched the statue ceremony, and I think you had said that was one of your favorite days or moments during your time with the Cubs. Why do you think that resonated so much, that gesture that you guys did? Resonated with you, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I just think sometimes. Learning about when we players play for organizations and franchises, I think understanding what the franchise is and what its history is and what their history means. I think sometimes the only way you can do it is to being present at something like that, and it's not for Rhino's speech or necessarily. It's just seeing the people come to honor a man and honor, and it wasn't honor him. It was just honor a Cub, right? And what a player can mean to the fans. I think that connection, I think if you want your players to see that connection and what you do on the field means to people, and I think that's what I realized maybe after. I don't know if I knew that before. You go, when we went to it, it was like, this is something that we should see, because you're like, what's going to happen? What are we going to feel? And that's what I felt, And I think that's what the guys felt for sure, because it was just maybe it was our seats or our view gave you kind of a overlooking an incredible kind of scene.
Is there something about Rhino that day that sticks out to you, given that everything he accomplished?
Yeah, I mean, I think our favorite things about people is he's put in I don't think Rhino enjoyed speaking. Pretty sure he didn't. But you still, if you knew him, and even if you didn't know him, you kind of knew he didn't enjoy speaking. And then he delivers it something that's just like himself. He just was himself. And when you get put in stressful situations or uncomfortable situations, and even the situation where everybody's honoring you, and you just stay yourself, that's what we're all looking for, learning moments like that.